Thank you very much indeed for watching. This is exclusive content from the World Retail Congress 2017 here in Dubai, where I caught up with Laura Xiong. Let's hear what Laura has to say. Well, I'm now joined by Laura Xiong, who is the Senior Vice President for JD.com. Laura, it's always a pleasure to see you. Thank you very much indeed for joining us here.
Thank you.
At the
Nice
World
to
Retail
see you
Congress.
again, Davey.
This is your first time at the World Retail Congress.
Yes, it is.
You're speaking this afternoon on the third day of the Retail Congress, and the third day is very much all about innovation, and it's about e-commerce, and it's about change. So it's probably a good place to start. JD.com, it's probably the largest company, retailer that most people have never heard about. So give us a little feel for the size, the scale of JD.com.
Sure. Thanks, David. Well, JD actually is a young company. We founded in 2004. It's only 13 years. It is the biggest China retailer, online and offline. We are the B2C e-commerce listed in NASDAQ 2014. Last year, JD.com became the first and the only Chinese internet company named to the Fortune 500 global biggest company. JD has a strict policy, no counterfeit. We have zero tolerance on counterfeit.
And that's very significant in China,
It
both
is.
for online retailing and offline retailing as well.
Absolutely, absolutely. It has been since its found and still remains today. I think it was and today still the groundbreaking in China. 92% of our self-operated orders can be delivered on the same day or next day in China. This is enabled by our self-built logistic and warehouse network across the China. To my understanding, no other online retailers can match that, no matter it's in China or outside of China. We have 226 million customers as of 2016. Our strategic relationship with Tencent, I hope you heard about Tencent.
Yes,
they
indeed,
have
yes.
this WeChat, everybody knows that.
Yeah, I'm an active user.
Oh, you are? Our strategic partnership with Tencent actually helps us reach more than 880 million consumers on the go. Again, no one else can do that. So that's a little bit like a snapshot about JD.com. I hope it's helpful.
Now, JD.com has a very different model to Amazon, to Alibaba. You, in a sense, own all the inventory and you own the entire supply chain.
You're correct.
And some might say that's a phenomenally expensive way of creating a business. What strategically makes you say that owning that supply chain is the absolute right thing to do?
Yeah, we actually have two differentiators. One is no counterfeit, I mentioned before. The other one is our business model. We call it self-operated. That means we own the product. We home build all those logistics systems. We manage it, we strictly control the supply chain so we can guarantee the product authenticity. And at the same time, since we control the entire supply chain, we can optimize and speed up fulfillment time. I mean, I mentioned that up to 92% we can deliver on the same day. So with this very sophisticated logistic and warehouse network, as of now, we have 7 logistic hubs in China, 256 warehouses, and 6,090 900 delivery and pickup stations across the China. So this is a very sophisticated, advanced logistics system, and enables us to provide a superior shopping experience to customers.
Now, a lot of talk at the 2017 World Retail Congress about the importance of data and big data. With that massive customer base, you must have huge amounts of data.
We are, yeah. We have tremendous data. Actually, we leverage data to drive a lot of innovations, either to help us improve the customer shopping experience or optimize our cost efficiency. I can share a couple examples. We have this predictive analysis system. Actually, we use this big data to understand the geography pattern and also the purchase pattern, the customer purchase pattern in the past, so we can prepare the merchandise in advance to certain community, because we can portray this community's customer profile. And in the recent iPhone 7 case, the first iPhone 7 since its launch in China that day delivers to consumers' home just within 12 minutes after the order being placed. 12 minutes. I'm not saying everyone get it in 12 minutes, but this is the case, and this is benefited with our big data.
Now, Laura, you've spent the last couple of days here in Dubai, in the company of some of the largest retailers in the world, their CEOs and C-suite executives. How well do you think global retail leaders understand China and the China market?
Well, first, my very superficial observation, actually, in last 2 days, I was trying to connect with some other Chinese representatives. I felt it seems like I am one of very few Chinese faces here, if it's not the only one. Okay. Definitely, China is a huge market, and our consumer and customer are very, very dynamic. As I sitting in this room last 2 days, I found that there's a lot of topic talking about the Western country, Western consumers, customers. I think there is an opportunity for the world to know China better, know Chinese consumer better. I hope there are more Chinese representatives come for this meeting, this Congress, and even the Congress should consider having this meeting in China someday to help all these global people understand China better, understand the Chinese consumers better.
A lot of people are getting slightly nervous and worried about what they hear about China. You know, reducing levels of GDP, maybe property bubble about to burst. From your perspective, do you see China as a growth retail opportunity? It's difficult now for retailers to find engines of growth. Does China still represent growth for retailers?
Well, I am more optimistic in this area. China GDP is continuing growing, and from retail side, at least I have a lot of like data and the signals on the e-commerce side, and e-commerce will continue grow dramatically, and they will lead in the retail growth. But even look at the offline, and we see some channels like convenience stores, they continue growing nicely, and some channels, I mean, if they like not really stay with consumers' trend, of course they will feel left behind. But in general, I'm more positive, optimistic about the China retailers, and they will be continue growing engine for global retailer. And when I look at consumer in China, I mean, they still shopping, okay? They continue shopping online or offline.
Now, Terry Lungman, the executive chairman of Macy's, when we were talking with him on the second day of the Congress,
Yeah.
talked about his China strategy, which
Yeah.
actually was having a virtual presence before having a physical presence. Do you think
Yeah.
that's a good model? And if so, can JD help brands and retailers around the world have a presence in China quickly?
I think it is. It is a good model, and particularly for the China e-commerce players, big players, we all have big data, big customer base. Like JD.com, we have this 226 million active users, and if the customer want more, and we have this like a Tencent WeChat database as well. So it's not just like build the business through this approach, but also build your brand by leveraging all this big pool of customer data and the customer number. So I think it's definitely a good way. It's a low cost way, less risk.
Well, Laura, thank you very much indeed for joining us. We look forward to your session this afternoon. JD.com is one of the leading most valuable brands in China.
Yes.
We just launched the BrandZ Top 100 Most Valuable Chinese
Yeah.
Brands a couple of weeks ago in Beijing, and as part of that launch we also created a documentary style film all about JD.com. So if
Yeah.
you want to know more about JD.com, just look at the URL on the screen and watch that documentary, and you'll get a slightly wider perspective of JD. Well, Laura, thank you very much
David.
indeed for joining us. It's been an absolute
Thank
pleasure.
you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much indeed for watching. This is just one of the interviews that we conducted at the World Retail Congress 2017 in Dubai, where we broadcast every night with an hours-long program. In order to see any of those programs or to watch any of the other interviews, just go to this website here. My name's David Roth from WPP. Thank you very much indeed for watching.